All right, let's get into it. We're talking about Fox Corporation today, and man, this is a fascinating company. It's like it's living two different lives at the exact same time. One is a story of just incredible, off-the-charts strength, and the other, well, it's a story of some pretty undeniable risk.
And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, this central puzzle we're going to try and solve here. How is it possible for a company to be at the absolute peak of its power, but at the same time be facing a future where the entire game is changing right under its feet? That's the riddle of Fox Corporation today. And this slide, this really lays it all out. On one side, you've got this story of pure dominance. Fox News is an absolute juggernaut, a ratings monster. But on the other side, you see the hard truth. The whole world of traditional TV, the very universe it dominates, is getting smaller and smaller every single day.
And look, when we say powerhouse, we are not kidding around. Fox News has been the #1 cable network for 10 years running, a whole decade. Their show, The Five, most watched show in cable news for 18 quarters in a row. They're not just winning, they are completely lapping the field.
But here's the other side of that coin. This is the reality check, and this comes from Fox's own numbers, by the way. Between just 2024 and 2025, both Fox News and their sports channel FS1 lost a whopping 6 million subscribers, each. The Big Ten Network lost 3 million. This isn't just a tiny leak in the boat, it is a steady stream of people heading for the exits. So, what do? How does Fox defend its castle when the ground around it is crumbling? Well, they've built a fortress with a really smart defensive strategy, built around stuff you just have to watch the moment it happens.
First things first, let's follow the money. The company's financial might really comes from two gigantic pillars. The biggest one is its television segment. That's the main Fox broadcast network, pulling in over $9.4 billion. And right behind that, cable network programming, with another $7 billion. These two are the bedrock of the entire fortress.
And their strategy, which they lay out right in their annual report, is all about focusing on live, appointment-based content. And think about what that means. It's the Super Bowl, it's the World Series, it's breaking news, it's all the stuff you can't just binge watch a week later. That makes their channels feel essential, both to you and me and to the cable companies that pay them. It's their moat in a world of on-demand everything. But you know what? A great defense is not enough. You've got to have an offense, right? A new way to grow. And for Fox, that new path is a free, ad-supported streaming service they bought called Tubi. And folks, this thing is absolutely firing on all cylinders.
Just to give you a sense of the scale here, Tubi is not some small niche app. It has blown past 100 million people using it every single month. That is a massive, massive audience, big enough to compete with some of the biggest names in the streaming game.
And these people aren't just scrolling through, they are watching. A lot. In May of 2025 alone, Tubi viewers watched over 1 billion hours of content. 1 billion! That's the kind of insane engagement that makes a streaming service thrive.
So what does all that watching actually mean? Well, it translates directly into market share. Nielsen data shows Tubi now makes up 2.2% of all television viewing time in the entire US. So for every 100 hours of TV watched in America, more than 2 of those hours are happening on Tubi. That is a serious slice of the pie.
But honestly, this is the most critical part. Who is this audience? Get this. 2/3 of them have either already cut the cable cord or they never even had it to begin with. More than half are Gen Z or millennials. We're talking about the exact group of people that advertisers are pulling their hair out trying to reach, and Tubi is basically serving them up on a silver platter.
Okay, so we've got the defensive fortress with a live TV, and we've got the high-powered offense with Tubi. But does this two-part strategy actually, work? Is it making money? Let's take a look at the financial report card.
So we're going to look at a key metric here called return on equity, or ROE. Don't let the name scare you. It's just a simple way to grade a company on how good it is at turning investor money into actual profit. The higher the number, the better the grade. It's that simple.
And as you can see, Fox's ROE is on an amazing climb. It jumped from just over 11% in 2023 to almost 20% by 2025. What that tells us is that the company is getting way more profitable and much more efficient with its money.
Now, this kind of strong performance, it doesn't go unnoticed. After a little dip back in 2024, the company's total stock market value just exploded, up 56% in fiscal year 2025. It's pretty clear that Wall Street is buying what Fox is selling. So what happens now? Where do they go from here? Well, Fox is definitely not just sitting back and counting their money. They're making some huge new bets that really double down on this whole strategy, using their old-school strengths while sprinting headfirst into a digital future. There are two really big moves on the horizon. First up is something called Fox One, which sounds like it's going to be an all-in-one streaming app, bundling everything they own into one subscription. And second, they're holding a golden ticket, a super valuable option to buy a nearly 19% stake in FanDuel, which is an absolute giant in the booming sports betting world.
And that brings us right back to where we started, to the ultimate question. It just perfectly sums up the tension at the very core of this company. They've got this incredibly powerful, super profitable, but shrinking legacy TV business, and then they have this fast-growing, very promising, but still developing digital business. The entire future of Fox Corporation really comes down to this. Can the new engine get up to full speed before the old one runs out of gas?